the community.
Hey, Equity Mate.
I just had a question.
Hey, Bryce, friend. I've got a question.
Answered.
We love hearing community questions come in, and we really appreciate if you can leave us a voice note. Head to equitymates.com/contact. Today's has come in from Janita, though. She didn't leave us a voice message, but Ren, she says, I invest $700 a month into DHHF, monthly $400 into VAE, and $400 into VEQ. Is this a good core portfolio, or is there too much overlap? If I should change my core, what other core ETFs can I choose from? And also my satellite, I do 275 into NDQ and 225 into HACK. NDQ overlaps with DHHF. If I should change my satellite, what other ETFs should I consider? Now, of course, very personal here. We don't know your situation, but we can answer this generally.
Yeah. So just generally, can I start by saying, doing that maths quickly as you were talking, $2,000 a month invested.
Solid.
Like, well done.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
If you can consistently do that for months and for years, you're going to be in a very good position.
Yeah.
The fact that you're investing in a core and satellite approach into predominantly index ETFs, also just well done. There's a lot to like here.
Yeah.
Let's start with the core, and then let's go to the satellite. So you mentioned 3 ETFs with ticker codes. So maybe let's step through them and explain what they actually are.
So the first is DHHF. It's the BetaShares Diversified All Growth Fund. This is an ETF of underlying funds, or it's a predefined ETF. 37% goes into Australian markets, 41% goes into the US markets, 16% goes into developed, and then 6% goes into emerging markets. So you're putting $700, it's split globally, and that makes up the first ETF. The second is VAE, which is Vanguard Asia ex Japan. 1,400 companies across 12 markets across Asia, excluding Japan. And then VEQ is Vanguard International Equities ex-US. So it's really European markets. You've got UK 23.5%, France 15%, Germany about 15%, Switzerland 14%, and Netherlands 6.2%. So across all 3 ETFs here, you are getting global exposure. You've got covering all major markets and emerging as well. So that's the current setup.
Yeah. Let's start with the core. There's a lot to like here. I want to start there. Janita, I think you've built a good core portfolio. So to start, you've built it around DHHF, which is predominantly Australia and the US, but it is an all-in-one ETF.
Yeah.
But because it's predominantly Australia and the US, 37% Australia, 41% the US, you've then complemented it with Asia and Europe to up that exposure.
Yeah.
I think the logic is sound. It's a strong core portfolio. It's low cost. It's globally diversified. It's all index based. You're going to get the winners wherever they come in those markets. So like a lot to like. The one thing I would tweak though is just to think about the weightings to the different parts of the world. So $400 in Europe, $400 in Asia, $700 in DHHF. If you do the maths, that works out to be $259 in Australia and $287 in the US. If you think about how that $700 in DHHF is split.
Yeah.
So really you're investing a fair bit more in Asia and Europe over Australia and the US.
Yeah.
So my tweak would be maybe change that 400 to maybe like 300 or 200 in those other 2 ETFs and upweight DHHF.
Yeah.
But like that's a minor change.
Minor tweak. Particularly, DHHF does have exposure to Europe and Asia. So I would agree. Tweak the investments per month.
So just do the maths and I would try and say across Australia, US, Asia, Europe, try and be sort of equal weight across those. Yeah.
So look, I think though, for those that have just joined the show, you could have 2 options here. If you wanted to just go DHHF or an equivalent VDHG from Vanguard, they are your all-in-one ETF. So there's nothing wrong with taking that approach. Or you could do what we're doing and get rid of DHHF and have a little bit more control of your weightings and choose core index ETFs to build your own core as well.
Yeah, you could do what Janita's doing.
Or you could do, you could do what Janita's done.
So that's the core. Great work. Keep going. Keep dollar cost averaging. You're doing a great job. Satellite. 2 ETFs here, HACK and NDQ.
My thinking is, look, NDQ for me is probably a little bit overkill to have as a thematic because you're going to get primarily the same top 10 or 15 in DHHF. So a lot of people would use NDQ as part of their core. It's just giving you, effectively tech, US tech. But I don't think there's anything wrong with having thematic ETFs as part of your satellite and not overdoing it. I think Hack has been a great performer. But this part of the portfolio, Ren, I think is very personal. Like for us to say these are the best, you can't say these are the best satellite thematic ETFs because it's really down to what you're trying to achieve and beat the market.
Yeah.
I'd say I'd have a few ideas offline, but
well, we've certainly spoken about ideas before. But yeah, look, I have Hack. I've had it for a long time. It's been great for me. There's plenty of thematic ETFs that could complement it. I think you're right that it's like if you've got this US exposure in your core and then you've got NDQ, that obviously overlaps, but then Hack obviously overlaps as well. So just think about like how much exposure you want to US tech. But I don't begrudge anyone wanting to ride the US tech wave at the moment. Just be mindful that things go down as well as up.
Absolutely. Well, Janita, thank you so much for the question. If you'd like to submit one, head to equitymates.com/contact. Leave us a voice message. We'd love to get it on the show.
I will say this about investing. Everything you do learn is cumulative. What I learned at 20 is useful.